Welcome. This is Disha from Women's Health AI, and today I will be speaking with oncology dietitian Caitlin Russell about debunking some common cancer nutrition
Yes,
myths.
a lot of nutrition myths surrounding cancer, and they can create a lot of unnecessary fear and confusion, which is not the state that we want to be in when we're on a cancer journey. One of the most common myths is that sugar directly feeds cancer, and that we should eliminate sugar completely from our diet. So it's true that cancer cells use glucose for energy, but all of the other cells in our body do as well. So the real concern is excessive added sugar. And like I already mentioned, the ultra processed carbohydrates. These can drive chronic inflammation, and it can drive something called insulin resistance when our body stops listening or hearing. It can't really hear or see or recognize the insulin hormone in our body as easily as it could have before. So I say, instead of eliminating all sources of sugar, I encourage people to focus on a balanced diet, right? Really crowding out the sugar if we can with whole nutrient dense foods, rather than just feeling like, well, I can't have anything fun anymore. I can't enjoy my favorite, dessert on occasion. I think, everybody's on a, different journey. And so this is not, relevant advice to everyone, because everyone, we're at could be at different stages of our treatment plan. But I would not discourage, for example, I would not discourage someone from eating something that they really love if they're currently, say, for instance, going through chemo, right? If it's seen as more of like a high calorie food, I would not discourage them from eating that, because I want them to maintain their weight. I want them to maintain their muscle mass and their energy so that they can get through treatment. And then we can talk more about balancing things out once they're done. Obviously, it's really important to eat healthfully, no matter when where you are when you're going through cancer treatment. Focusing on whole nutrient dense foods is really just a more balanced approach versus fearing, for example, sugar. Obviously, we don't want to eat a lot of the white, processed sugar, but things like whole grain pasta and whole grain breads and grains, those also turn to glucose in the body. So we can't just zero in on, say, and say that we have to avoid all forms of sugar, because they all kind of break down into sugar in the body anyways. And another myth is that we have to eat, only organic foods, or that eating organic foods will prevent cancer. So organic produce can definitely reduce our pesticide exposure. But I'm not going to discourage someone, right? If organic foods are not, feasible for someone, if they're too expensive, because they usually are more expensive, I'm not going to discourage someone from going and getting a non-organic apple or non-organic green beans or something like that. We really want to focus in on having a variety of fruits and vegetables, whether they're organic or not. There are too many benefits shown in the research that eating a lot of fruits and vegetables is really, really important. So the benefits of the plant-rich diet would outweigh concerns about pesticide residue. If we can avoid pesticides, great, but I'd rather someone eat an apple that isn't organic if that's all they're going to have, if they're not having a lot of other fruits and vegetables, or they can't, it doesn't work for them in terms of financial considerations. And I think the last thing would be about supplements. So there's a belief that cancer thrivers need to take a lot of supplements to recover. And so, some supplements can be helpful in certain situations, but they should never replace a healthy diet. So, and in some cases, like high doses of certain supplements can actually interfere with cancer treatment. So it's really important to work with someone who in the healthcare field, who's trained to know what is safe and what is not safe. to determine, if that's something that you truly need.
I think that's great advice. And especially on the second point, I feel like sometimes people get caught up in really small details and then lose the bigger picture. So that's really great advice.
Yeah.